is very important, an icon, a legend.
It happened nearly 3 decades ago, but remains an infamous night in Las Vegas history.
For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice.
Rap icon Tupac Shakur was gunned down near the Las Vegas Strip, silencing a man who was a voice for the voiceless.
I miss my brother. You know what I mean? At the end, all of that, I miss my brother.
This high-profile murder case in southern Nevada remained open for years. But after a 27-year investigation, Metro Police arresting a man for the shooting.
A Clark County grand jury has indicted Dwayne Keith Davis with 1 count of open murder.
I'm Trisha Keene. For the next 30 minutes in this Channel 13 special report, we explore the life and death of Tupac Shakur, as well as the investigation into who killed the rap icon. Tupac Shakur was born in East Harlem, New York on June 16, 1971, and life was tough. His mother, Afeni Shakur, was in jail for her activism with the Black Panthers while she was pregnant with him. Tupac was also exposed to violence in his early years, experiences that later fueled his lyrics.
When they see me, they know that every day when I'm breathing, it's for us to go farther. You know, every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Tupac's family would eventually move to the Bay Area. And in 1991, Tupac broke into the music scene with a group called Digital Underground. A solo career was soon to follow with a hard-hitting song called Brenda's Got a Baby.
Though he was a fierce warrior, he represented love. He loved his community. He loved his people.
In just 5 years, he became a giant in rap and hip-hop. While his music career flourished, he also had run-ins with the law, even spending time in jail. The rapper was portrayed by some as a violent and troubled young man.
I got a lot of people that look up to me, and I don't want the last place for them to see me is in jail.
But despite everything, his mix of aggressive lyrics and social commentary changed the rap game forever. His fame took him to Hollywood, where he would go on to star in movies, including the 1992 film Juice with Omar Epps and the 1993 film Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson.
He was the first multi-faceted, superstar in rap music and hip-hop. There have been others that actually acted in films, but he was an actor for true. He was a writer for true, poet for true, and he was a rapper, MC, and stage handler for true.
With a me against the world mentality, his movies, poetry, and music connected with millions around the world. But those who loved him would soon lose him. September 7th, 1996, Tupac, members of his hip-hop group The Outlaws, Suge Knight, and other friends came to Las Vegas. It was fight night. Tupac's close friend, boxing great and Las Vegas resident Mike Tyson, was taking on Bruce Seldon. A fight outside the ring would overshadow the main event.
Members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM, and at that time they began to kick and punch him.
Authorities say just a few days prior to the beating inside the MGM Grand on the Las Vegas Strip, the Southside Crips had stolen a necklace chain from a Death Row Records label member at the Lakewood Mall in California. Death Row Records had known ties to a rival gang, the Mob Peru in Compton. In retaliation to the attack at MGM, police believe Southside Compton Crips member Orlando Anderson got a gun. After the Tyson fight, Anderson and other members of the gang allegedly drove up to the car carrying Tupac and Suge Knight. They were stopped at a red light at Flamingo and Koval. Around 11 p.m., shots rang out.
Me or any of the other officers involved, we didn't quite realize the piece of history that it would become.
Tupac's car and the other cars in their group sped down Flamingo, then turning onto the Las Vegas Strip and trying to turn left onto Harmon. But their car spun out in the intersection. Retired Metro Police Sergeant Chris Carroll was on bike patrol that night and was first on the scene. He says people started getting out of the cars, so he pulled out his gun and demanded answers about what was happening. After the situation calmed down, that's when he saw Tupac in the passenger seat of the black BMW. After asking Tupac to get out and getting no response, he opened the car door, and Carroll says Tupac began to tumble out.
I pretty much knew he was going to die. He was in very bad shape.
Carroll says he saw blood coming out of Tupac's mouth and knew he was almost out of time. He tried to get information, anything, before Tupac passed out.
He responded with "F you," and his eyes rolled back, and he lost consciousness, and he was never to regain consciousness again.
Tupac went into surgery at UMC with 4 gunshot wounds. 6 days later, he was taken off life support and died.
We're in a constant state of grief and remorse and pain.
His family, friends, and fans mourn the loss.
To some people, Pac was the biggest rapper, best rapper. But on a personal view, he was a good man. You know, he did a lot of things for the black community.
This all happening as the investigation forged on. Both Las Vegas Metro Police and the Los Angeles Police Department spent years on the case. All clues leading back to the man at the center of the fight at the MGM, Orlando Anderson.
We knew who the shooter was, but the problem was the guy who was the trigger man was murdered himself.
Anderson was killed in an unrelated shooting in LA in May 1998, causing a major roadblock in the Tupac murder investigation. Still to come on this special report, running down leads and looking for clues to get justice for Tupac.
Tupac Shakur is a music legend, and for a long time, this community and worldwide have been wanting justice for Tupac.
We look at the 27-year-long investigation into this high-profile murder case. Stay with us. 27 years in the making. For the first time, an arrest has been made in the murder of Tupac Shakur. We'll walk you through this long and complicated investigation that led to the arrest of a man in Henderson nearly 3 decades later. With the death of Orlando Anderson in 1998, the murder of Tupac Shakur remained open. But in 2006, the LAPD got involved. This time as part of its murder investigation of East Coast rapper Christopher Wallace, also known as Notorious B.I.G. Retired Detective Greg Kading, who worked in law enforcement for 25 years, says they built a drug case against Orlando Anderson's uncle and Southside Compton Crips leader Dwayne "Keefy D. Davis.
We built a really ironclad case against him that would compel him to tell the truth. We wanted to get leverage on it.
Kading says Davis was already facing 25 years in prison on drug-related charges. But LA police hoped he would reveal information on the killing of Notorious B.I.G. Instead, Davis talked about the death of Tupac Shakur.
So he then goes into detail about how everything went down, who was involved in the murder, including himself.
Kading says Davis confessed to police he was there in Las Vegas and gave his nephew the gun. However, this confession was made under a proffer agreement.
It's a legal tool that we use in interviews, which allows somebody to have the comfort of knowing that they're not talking themselves into jail. We can't use their statements against them.
But because everyone else in the car was already dead, no arrest could be made. But that all changed in July 2023.
Have a search warrant for the resident. You should come out with your hands up and your hands empty.
This past July, Metro Police served a search warrant at Davis's home in Henderson.
Sir, you put your phone down. Put your phone down. Put your hand atop your head.
Police recovered laptops, computers, photographs, as well as .40 caliber bullets. The bullets were tested to see if they matched bullets from the 1996 scene, but they did not. Now, retired investigating detective Clifford Maud revealed to a Clark County grand jury they were also looking for electronics in Davis's home to see if he had been in contact with anyone regarding the murder investigation. Retired Metro Police Sergeant Chris Carroll says this all comes back to comments Davis has made in interviews since 2018 and his 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend.
we've got a guy, Keefe D, who the last 5 years has been openly going on all kinds of media, wrote a book explaining and detailing his role in the murder.
An indictment from the Clark County grand jury was returned, and then Metro Police arrested Davis outside of his home the following day.
Hey, Keith, Metro Police, come over here.
He's facing an open murder charge with a gang enhancement. Body cam video from Metro reveals conversations between officers and Davis.
So what they got you for, man? Biggest case in Las Vegas history.
Metro Police and Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson say they don't believe he shot and killed Tupac, but they say Davis devised the plan to get payback after Tupac and members of rap label Death Row Records attacked his nephew, Orlando Anderson, at the MGM.
We have an aiding and abetting statute, which provides that if you help somebody commit a crime, you can be equally as guilty.
Authorities and former law enforcement officials say Davis talking about his involvement opened the door for the arrest. In grand jury evidence obtained by Channel 13, Davis addresses the killing of Tupac.
I got no reason to lie.
While a known gang member testified before a grand jury that Anderson did not kill Shakur, jurors heard an interview with Davis say that he gave the gun to his nephew and that Anderson pulled the trigger.
He gave the gun to Orlando, and Orlando shot Tupac and Suge.
Yeah, he did his thing, yeah.
With all eyes on the legal process, former prosecutors say the proffer agreement from Los Angeles will be a big focus once again.
A defense attorney would likely attempt to say, well, you can't use those statements because they were subject to what's called a use immunity, in which they cannot be used against me.
However, retired LAPD detective Greg Kading says when Davis goes outside that agreement, then all bets are off. Only time will tell how it all plays out. In the meantime, Tupac's fans and loved ones are grateful someone has been arrested.
I do appreciate there's some form of accountability for the family.
Tupac really meant a lot to us. We listened to a lot of his music. It was very sad, but eventually, the truth comes out.
Glad to see that his murder was actually resolved and the police did their job, and I appreciate that, man. Long live Tupac.
Coming up on this Channel 13 News special, an everlasting impact on hip-hop and the music industry.
When you speak from the heart and you speak the truth, you connect with people.
We take a deeper look at Tupac's immeasurable influence on music and what local DJs say made the rap icon so good. Welcome back. Tupac Shakur is known as one of the most influential rappers of all time. Fans will tell you his music still feels relevant today. And local DJs who spin those tracks here say they see the impact every day.
Voice for our generation.
He was just way ahead of his time. Revolutionary is what I would say about Tupac.
Local DJs say Tupac Shakur's words still touch people young and old. DJ Franzen works at Dre's nightclub. He says Tupac's legacy is everlasting.
Just made an impact till this day. You can be 21, you could be 51. You know what he was speaking back in the 90s is still relevant till this day.
DJ Mike P. Perry remembers seeing Tupac at MGM just before the shooting.
We all went up to UMC. It was like a Martin Luther King Day parade. It was a bunch of people.
He says the artist is even more popular today than he was in 1996.
He really had a gift. He really did, and it never went nowhere. And everything that he talked about back then is relevant today. And so, he was just a special person. Seriously.
From California Love to Keep Your Head Up to Dear Mama, there are songs that many people can relate to.
Okay, so back in the day, I was a real womanizer. So my first song I'm putting on is I Get Around. Oh my God, man, I had that song on repeat 1,000,000,000,000,000 times.
There is a Tupac song on All Eyes on Me on a double album that came out in 1996, which went diamond, over 10 million records sold, probably at 20 million now. And it's the only song on that entire album with no curse words. It's called Heaven Ain't Hard to Find. And if you really listen to this song, you'll know what this guy Tupac was really about.
For DJs Mike P. and Franzen, his songs painted a picture of his life and took you on a journey into his world.
I think anybody who has that type of impact, you know, on not just the rap community, just the world period, is inspiring.
Tupac said that he was going to inspire people. And I've been on the radio here 20 years. And I'm one of the people that he inspired. I go to penitentiaries, I go to juvenile halls, and I speak to kids, and I got that Tupac spirit.
And that spirit is one that lives on through the legacy he left behind. Still to come on this Channel 13 special report, remembering a rap legend, what Tupac Shakur means to his fans, his family, and friends. Continuing to remember a rap icon.
This man accomplished so much in 25 years. Remember, he was 25 years old when he died. Look at all the things he did as an artist.
You know, we were learning from each other in the game. And I think he was learning from me and I was learning from him.
Tupac Shakur has had an incredible impact on so many people, even 27 years after his death. Fans forever remember him through the messages in his songs and interviews.
So he was like a prophet. A lot of things that are going on now, he spoke about back then, you know, so that's what we know him from. We grew up on Tupac. That's what I grew up on. That's how I know so much about him.
Despite his trouble with the law, Tupac's impact was and still is global. His songs have connected with people young and old. For Tupac's friends, they want to honor the parts of him that brought hope to so many.
I just try to make sure, you know, whatever I'm involved in is going to be something positive and focus on more of the positive aspect of his life and, you know, his mission.
Because when somebody told me about Tupac, I was thinking, this brother's gonna be doing this for like 40 or 50 years, and every decade he's gonna bring a crazy change.
Tupac's death was stunning, yet his legacy is ongoing.
I'm not saying I'm gonna rule the world or I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
From his music to his social commentary, to his poetry, and even his acting career, fans say the rap icon struck an unforgettable chord.
Well, it's been long overdue. It's been many years, and I'm glad he's been brought to justice, man. He's an icon that's gone. You know, he's forever missed in the industry.
He was inspiration for me growing up, you know. Helped me out with a whole lot of troubles in my life, and just listen to him and his speeches, especially his poetry, helped me out.
Pac is a powerful spirit. And, you know, people that he's touched their lives, you know, they still feel him.
Our coverage does not stop with the arrest of Dwayne "Keefe Davis. We will continue to follow the latest developments in the murder case of rap icon Tupac Shakur. I'm Trisha Keene for Channel 13 News. Thanks again for joining us for this special report.